Hey guys, let's discuss top 5 control-oriented rackets. But first, let's answer what actually makes a good control-oriented racket. To me, as a grinder, well, I tend to favor control-oriented rackets. So to me, it is ability to hit my targets over and over again. For that, I need a good consistent feel, maybe slightly on a softer side. The dwell time is a bit longer, so the ball stays longer on the string bed, so you kind of have more time to guide the ball until it leaves the string bed. And the more you are with the ball, the more confidence you get, the more feedback you get. So this is feel to me. Another thing, you need stability to redirect pace or get the control and touch on volleys. Another thing, the response maybe it should be a tiny bit more on a colder side than hot side. So if the string bed and the response is more jumpy, launchy, with more spin, there is more chaos involved. We don't need this. We don't want this in a control-oriented racket. We want maximized predictability. So yeah. Sometimes it means a bit colder response, and this means lower in power. And yes, for control, for predictability, you don't need that much spin. Less spin, but more directional control. You're hitting more through the court, and maybe you get a bit more control of the launch angle, because you can guide the ball up and it flies in a more predictable way. So with less power, less spin, but better directional control, you get also better control of the arc above the net. Let's go to my list. Number 5. It is Head Prestige MP 1819. It is a Prestige, so with Prestige you get a lot of control no matter which Prestige you pick. And it is number 5 because, well, from this specific model you get a bit more response. The 1819 string pattern gives you a bit more spin. It is in my top 5 rackets of choice, but for pure control it is a bit lower. But I personally choose rackets that play with a bit help, with a bit of response that I can use on my counterattacks or on defense. But for pure control, Prestige MP is simply a bit too modern, too forgiving. And when I try to play with some heights, yeah, I lose a bit of this predictability. But to be honest, this one probably is my favorite Prestige right now, and I love Prestige line in general. Number 4, it is another racket in my top selection. It is Tecnifibre TFight 305S. I customized this racket, I love it. It gives me a bit more directional control and maybe stability. I think because the head size is slightly smaller, the windows in a string bed are slightly tighter, it is a bit more consistent in response than the Prestige MP, and it is slightly more stable, so I just feel a bit more connection with the TFight 305S. Prestige MP is a bit more forgiving, a bit more spin friendly, but yeah, maybe sometimes too cold, sometimes too hot, depending on your shot selection. And this one is a bit more even, I would say, especially if you customize it. And I am actually now on a mission. I'm customizing this racket, Prestige MP as well. So I'm testing some specs. You can see my other video where I compare 305 swing wave unstrung versus 295. The results are quite interesting. So yeah, I'm still kinda experimenting with the 305S specs, and I think Prestige MP is a bit easier to customize because it is a bit more forgiving in stock form. Let's go to number 3. It is Tecnifibre TF40 1820. I tested this racket some time ago. The slices were absolutely amazing. It is not in my top 5 rackets of choice because now from top 3 all the rackets are actually a bit too cold in response, a bit too demanding. They lack a bit of this user friendliness that I am looking for as a grinder. So it is funny that now it will go higher in control but lower in my personal pick. Number 2, it is Wilson Blade 1820, the classic one. Many professionals pick it, slices, plow through stability. This racket really changed a lot in the industry. Lower static wave, head heavy balance, high swing wave. In the past, maybe there was a trend for a heavier, more headlight racket, so blades made a difference, and yeah, they're extremely popular on the tour and in academies. And number 1, it is Head Prestige Pro 1820. The feel, the connection, it is sublime. It is one of the best rackets for control and feel. More headlight setup makes Prestige actually, in my opinion, a bit easier to use, a bit easier to time your swings compared to Blade, which can be a bit too demanding, and it might feel a little clubby for some players. It is a bit lagging behind sometimes, so Blade is very good at blocking the balls, redirecting the pace, but when it comes to this ultimate control and being able to play whatever you want, it is Prestige Pro. Despite the higher static wave, I would say it is easier to use than the Blade. From these 3 rackets, only Prestige Pro managed to be a highlighted racket outside of my top 5 rackets of choice. I wish Prestige Pro would have a slightly more responsive feel, a bit more power, maybe something with wave distribution to make it a bit more responsive on serve, this snapping motion. I feel like something is missing when you really want to hit with some more juice. You lack a bit of this penetration. It is very consistent. It invites you to hit big, but yeah, sometimes you miss a little bit if you don't accelerate. It is, however, much easier to accelerate compared to Blade or TF40 1820. That's why it actually is the best control-oriented racket right now, and maybe forever. Someone might ask why I didn't pick Prestige MP or TFight 305 as higher in this list while they are actually much higher on my personal rackets of choice. And this is because, in my opinion, they are just slightly more responsive with more spin potential, more forgiveness, and this I am willing to accept. They give me more forgiveness and more power that I can use to control the rally. So while the control of these rackets are a bit lower, I would say that overall the playability gives me more control when I compete. So these rackets are attempting to give a bit more all around. I'm not sure how to call this group of rackets because they are not purely a control-oriented racket, and they are definitely not a power or spin-oriented racket. So we are kinda looking for the perfect middle spot, and this is what we love here. Make sure to subscribe and see you soon. Bye bye.